Surfing Waves video 2. Um, this is where the holographic principle comes in. There's a couple of books that are the basis of e-surfing waves concept, and one of the books is, I actually don't have the title here. It's the holographic universe, I think, or the holographic principle. It's about the idea that basically it's what follows out of string theory. Basically, I think pretty well accepted in quantum mechanics is that the reality is like a sort of hologram, basically, and that 3 dimensions. That the third dimension is even like is not real. Yeah, what is real and what is not? But there's a couple of documentaries about it. PBS Space Time, especially about the holographic universe, the holographic principle, that explain it better. And of course, in surfing waves, it's not about quantum mechanics or about calculating that. It's about taking that and using that as a basis for for an idea, an image of reality, basically, that then becomes this faux or not faux, not religious thing, but more new age spiritual kind of thing, which it is like, it is primarily an artwork. It shouldn't be taken seriously as such, but it is a complete system of, if you want to be like a culture, basically, with its own cosmology and practical guide for living, and the reverse Luddite principle, the idea that you embrace technology completely. Then there's the issue of privacy, because to use a mobile phone or more to cybernetically enhance yourself, for instance, one high-end mobile phone, there should be a minimum that what should work is it should pretty faultlessly be able to transcribe anything you say, and in real time check that in like fact-checking databases. There's just one element. It should be, it's the experiment or the exercise of enhancing yourself in everything you do, with very particularly is it have a mobile phone, like, not literally, or maybe literally, on your shoulder, so that whatever you do, you talk about it out loud, what you're doing, so that the mobile phone knows what you're doing, or the consciousness, the internet consciousness, and and it uses, I go from the heel on the branch, from the heck on the tag, is that there's that element, but there's also the idea that just recently, basically, we were introduced to artificial intelligence, and the general acceptance that there will probably be what they call, I think, generic artificial intelligence. That would be good to have a mobile phone right now to fill this in. Yeah, but of course I use this mobile phone to record it because I don't have enough mobile phones. That's the problem. But we will work on that. Yeah. So when you see me, just grab, hold your phone tightly, because I need more. So there's that. There's the idea that just recently you had the emergence of artificial intelligence, and just recently you had the UAP phenomenon, and this is the element of the great pivot in human consciousness. This is where surfing waves comes in as an alternative worldwide culture. Is the end of anthropocentric, practical anthropocentric thinking. In the sense that the human intelligence is on Earth, then you have artificial intelligence, which turns out that the intelligence, creativity is not that special, and in the meantime, you have Tic Tacs, now confirmed by the U.S. government, that are exhibiting extremely intelligent behavior, and that is a form of what's called it extra-human intelligence. So we go from a place, consciousness, where in the 80s or 90s, or I don't know how far you could say that this was common knowledge, is that human intelligence and creativity are unique, and to the point where turns out that it's not that unique. It turns out computers can do a lot more than we thought. And the other thing is, we have to watch out that while we're looking at the sky at these, UAPs or UFOs that apparently now confirmed exist. Yeah, and they're not pretty well defined what they are. You can say, well, if they exhibit mimicry, there is an interaction, they block radar. These things are all proven facts now, and that we might want to is this image of us looking at the sky while computers are basically behind us, inventing and reinventing themselves. We turn around and while we were looking at the sky, while the little primate was looking at the sky, going, there are UFOs. Because there is this idea that, for instance, because it was so foreign to them, that when Columbus came, and I don't know if this is true, but it's verifiable on the internet. Here you go again, if I would have the thing, is that the Indians on the shore, they were looking at the ships, but they couldn't see the ships. They could, because they had no, this is actually, apparently this is true. It sounds, because they never seen a thing like that. A thing like that didn't exist, and they could only see them when they were coming closer. And they say that what they saw were the waves from the ships, and not the ships themselves. It is kind of similar to the UFOs, because these UFOs, I mean, you can watch 60 Minutes if you take that as, and these pilots said, well, how often? He said, well, for like a year, you would see them every day. Yeah, this is also kind of why don't we know about this? Because we haven't come much further. If we look in the sky and we see something that's not supposed to be there, it becomes a weather balloon, and you don't need a lot of conspiracies and all that. We do that ourselves. This is ourselves automatically. But these things are here now, and computers turn out to be a lot more creative than we thought. So, and this is also, so there is this element of humility, I think. Yeah, of the human project, not the American project, but the human project. So there's the idea of this of being in between, which is, are you in between? Do you recognize that human intelligence is in between something from the sky and something that we created ourselves, or human intelligence is sandwiched between extra-human intelligence, extraterrestrial intelligence, and artificial intelligence, suddenly. And this is kind of, what you could call the birth of this new consciousness, in which surfing waves is an expression of that consciousness and a practice of that consciousness, basically.